and welcome to episode 128 of
The Eldritch Podblast.
I am Margaret.
I am Jack.
What do you reckon?
I'm waiting for your response.
Yes. Oh my god. What say you?
I sent you the Goo Goo Gaga. Please respond.
Yeah. Oh my god. Hello. How we doing?
How's it going, gamers?
What we up to? What we eating?
What we clogging? Which set of clogs do we have on
Yes.
today?
Which clogs are we wearing today?
And please.
I heard you all coming in loud.
Oh yeah.
Loud.
It's like a. Just like a maraca being shaken.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
loud.
Yeah. Real loud.
Like the entity is shaking a maraca.
Earth-shatteringly loud.
As they're all just like.
Oh, you're all marching in place because you don't get to sit down here.
Oh my god. No, it was music to my ears.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Surely, yes. So how are you doing? What you feeling?
What you eating? Yeah, what are you feeling?
What are you
I would like
feeling?
an emotional breakdown of today.
Give
I don't
me
want an
your
emotional
feels.
breakdown.
Oh,
I want your emotions broken down.
but if we lead into an emotional breakdown, then that so be it.
That's where it ends, you know?
Yeah. What you thinking? What you feeling? What you eating?
You're allowed to cry here.
Who you doing?
Oh.
That's what I want to know.
Interesting.
Man.
Very interesting.
God, you know what? Hot.
Hot, warm. Fan is right there. I was like, hoodie?
Incredibly warm. It is incredibly warm in England today. And you know what? It probably isn't that warm. How warm is it? Let me check
It's really
the weather.
not that warm, I don't think.
No, it really
It's
isn't.
maybe like
It's 12 degrees.
12 degrees.
It's 12 degrees. It's
And we're
literally
like-
12 degrees. But it's warm.
Yeah.
And this room, we have so many lights on and we have so much, so many electronics on as well. It's warm.
Those two lights, the two floodlights behind us.
Yeah,
that.
the LED light.
And then obviously there's just like fans and mics and cameras and
Yeah, very warm.
it's just hot,
It is. It's very warm today.
you know?
But you know what? it was warm yesterday as well, and we had a wonderful day yesterday.
Yeah, we went out to Durham.
We went out to Durham to meet up with our mod Izzy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say our flavor Izzy.
I mean,
friend Izzy.
our flavour.
Our flavor Izzy. Izzy is one of our mods, and we
Yeah.
also went with our good friends Wabs and Courtney.
Yeah.
And it was a really good time. Durham is beautiful.
Yeah, we had some coffee. We had some.
Yeah.
I had a Korean chicken burger. Delicious.
Yeah.
You
I had
had
eggs royale,
you had eggs
which
royale.
is basically just like poached eggs on sourdough with hollandaise sauce and salmon.
Salmon.
And we had some pancakes.
We shared some pancakes.
Yeah, it was really
delicious.
good. The
Yeah.
coffee was delicious.
Yeah.
It was just a really nice day.
I bought my brother
Yes.
the most basic set of dice because I gave him obviously Tula gave us 3 sets of dice in like this brilliant share box that she sent us, and I was like, I'll give these to my brother. There's a third set and he can like play with them, and he couldn't read them at all because he's getting old and his eyes aren't working anymore.
I will say in his defense,
We do have the lights very low.
we have the lights very, very, very low.
And so I went out yesterday and I bought him a black set of dice
with white numbers.
With white numbers.
They couldn't be more contrasting. So even in like the dark light, he will be able to see the white numbers.
I sent him a picture and I was like, I've finally got you some dice that you're definitely going to be able to read. And he was like, thank you for my old man dice.
So yeah, it was a really lovely day. I love my friends. What a great day.
Oh my goodness, that's brilliant.
Oh my god, I love my friends and others. Yeah. How about that?
Oh my god.
What a
cool.
callback.
I don't know what that's from, but all right, let's go.
It's from LMFAO when they weren't allowed to say what they actually stood for, so they had to say love my friends and others.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. God, do you remember LMFAO?
Not really.
You
I remember
don't?
the one song that they released.
What was it? Every day I'm shuffling.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Wop, 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 wop.
Shall we go on to that on stream?
Yeah.
Be actually the most cringe.
Yeah,
ever.
let's go. How was my dog doing?
No, I don't know what he's doing actually.
Interesting.
He's fine. He's not doing anything.
Interesting.
He doesn't look like he's doing anything.
Oh
Oh my god, we come on to what does the fuck say?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you know what? I say all the time cringe is dead. I actually don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I think that would be too far for me.
I think that would be too far.
I would maybe
Yes.
be a cringe too far for me.
Yes, indeed. So if you're a purveyor of cringe,
Oh my god. Come and join us on stream. We do a lot of dancing.
We do a lot of dancing.
We do some Dungeons and Dragons stuff.
Yeah.
We
Play
eat some
Pokemon.
random snacks and
Yeah.
play Pokemon and just
Yeah.
have a general good old time.
General good time of it, don't we?
Yeah.
We stream every Tuesday, which is Pokemon, and every Friday and every Sunday, which is D&D. To be honest, we've kind of settled into a groove of live streaming where we will do D&D advice, where we'll answer your advice live.
Yeah.
And then every other Sunday, we will do the Homebrew Challenge.
Yeah. There's a lot of people need a lot of advice. It seems to be there's a lot of advice needed.
And the thing is, the good thing about it, it's funny that we're mentioning this on an advice episode.
Oh my God.
But,
spoilers.
you know, when you submit it into chat as well, like, chat's there too.
Yeah,
chat can give really, really good options and really good, like, what's the word?
Takes.
Yeah.
Advice.
Their own experiences.
Yeah. They can. When there's two people, we can only pull from, we can give you the advice that we think is best. But, we can only pull from a smaller pool of experience. When there's like 50, 60, 70, 80 people there, that's 50, 60, 70, 80 people who've also been through situations that could be quite similar.
Totally.
Yeah, who can also give their take as well.
Yeah, so
it's awesome.
Please join us over on stream. We've recently started co-streaming on TikTok.
Oh my goodness.
Which has been a wild experience.
It has been a wild experience.
Thank you so much, everyone on TikTok who is joined in our live streams. We currently have it set up so we co-stream. So we go live on TikTok, but we say, if you're watching on TikTok, come over to Twitch and we'll talk to you like on Twitch type thing. And it's been really good. We've had so many new faces, new friends over, which has been lovely.
So many people being like, I love your content, I love your videos, and we appreciate that so much.
Indeed.
Like, thank you so much. It means a lot,
It does.
know?
It really does.
And it'll never get old for us to hear that you appreciate what we do because, that's just who we are as people.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I don't think there's really much. My t-shirt came.
Oh my goodness.
If you've joined us on live stream, you will have seen. I don't think you can see it actually.
Margaret's a Phoenix enjoyer.
Yeah, this is Phoenix from Valorant. There wasn't any cool Phoenix t-shirts. There wasn't any cool Valorant t-shirts.
So she was
really.
like, I'll make my own.
I was like, listen, I can't do anything normally. I can't be normal about anything. So I just designed my own.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really happy with it.
That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, that's cool.
I like the bootleg vintage type of 90s look. So
sick.
yeah, I went for that. And I made Jack an Omen one.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it yet. But,
yeah, that's okay.
Made you an Omen one.
Yeah.
That's it, really.
Let's get
it? That's it.
We've got a Homebrew Challenge winner to announce. And then we've got 3 challenges to roll.
We certainly do. So we are going to be reading out the winner of the last iterations of Dreams and Nightmares. This is a point of interest. This is one of the new things that we rolled.
Yeah.
This was the last of Dreams and Nightmares, and man, what a wild ride Dreams and Nightmares has been.
Brilliant.
It's been incredible.
It's been like the Homebrew Challenge has changed during this.
Yeah, it has. Yeah,
and
a lot.
It's just been brilliant to see what everyone came up with for Dreams and Nightmares. What was the one before Dreams and Nightmares?
It was a Wonder Staff.
No.
Hope.
Hope, yeah.
It was Hope.
Hope. I feel like because Hope and Dreams and Nightmares were the first ones that we did on stream. Like, I don't know, I feel like it elevated the Homebrew Challenge, so yeah.
I very, very much agree.
But we've got a doozy for you today, baby.
Yeah, we certainly do.
There's a doozy here for you today.
So we'll go over the winner for Dreams and Nightmares for a point of interest. We'll go over the new theme. We will roll all 3 of them, and we'll just give you a little recap on what the Homebrew Challenge is as well, just in case you don't know and you want to get involved. So, shall we do the winner?
The winner. A little timestamp for 10 minutes, babe.
Oh, goodness.
For the winner.
The winner.
A little 10-minute timestamp for the winner.
Winner.
Chicken dinner.
I've just put 10.
Interesting.
Simply 10.
Interesting.
So, the winner for the finale of Dreams and Nightmares for a point of interest is Harry Godfather!
Hey! Well done, Harry Godfather.
Well done, Harry Godfather. And Harry Godfather uses he, him pronouns.
Nice.
Now, the title of this point of interest is The Tomb of the First Beholder. It took days to get here, but he had no choice. He grew up looking towards that tower, a blackened spire rising towards the heaven like a misshapen finger, crooked and warped with the power of its purpose. At sunset, in the height of summer, the village would crowd together as someone climbed the platform in the square. Only the strongest of wills were chosen to stand watch until the sun set and the darkness brought its sweet respite. It had been her this year, his Alora. He had been so proud as she climbed up to do her duty, to stand vigil over the twisted shadows stretching out, caressing the rooftops of the houses in its path. the smoke from their chimneys violently changing colour and shape, like surprised snakes falling victim to their own venom, like vines curling and withering under the heat of a fire. There was one rule. No one must sleep while the last shadow lingered. No one must sleep while the tower touches the village. But that was before she died. His Alora. She died from a disease she never knew she had. Some flaw in her heart that was no one's fault, a twist of fate, but a twist that pulled on his heart almost as violently as hers. As legend tells it, the first beholder to come to this plain lived within the woods here, ruling the land as far as its eyes could see. Without competition, it grew fat on its own pride, its arrogance sustaining it, and its size growing even larger as it dreamed of its own ambitions. Its dreams warped the landscape, and its denizens grew loyal in awe of its power. They considered it a god as they woke each day to their changed world, their fate empowering it to grow, to dream itself even stronger. And so it ruled, this gargantuan orb, this all-seeing horror. But it failed to see the adventurer as she risked it all. It failed to see the threat as she plunged her weapon deep into its accursed eye. A simple sword was surely no match to its own immeasurable power. A solitary girl was no risk to its godhood. She faced it down, rage in her face, its breath a wind in her hair. My dreams are my own, she cried, the ichor flooding from its pupil, coating her as it was slain. Its followers built a mighty cairn where its body lay, its powers lingering still in the stones that rose over its rotting skull. It is said that any brave soul that sleeps at the base of the tower has their dreams made manifest. And these days, all he dreamed about was her. Upon waking, he turned to see her golden hair next to him. He felt a rapture as he rolled her to him, eager to see her pale green eyes glisten and twinkle as she smiled, surely just as he remembered. Except someone already sleeps at the base of the tower. An eternal sleep. Granted, but sleep it does, nevertheless. Her hair fell away from the tentacles on her brow and cheekbones, revealing a single giant eye. It looked up expectantly and screamed.
The twist? The twist?
Oh my God!
We were
Jesus.
shell-shooken on stream when the twist came in at the end.
Bloody hell. My God.
What a great little story.
What an incredibly, we say this all the time, incredibly well-written, I can picture it. I can see it. Its descriptions like the snakes on their own venom. Yeah. Like, good God, I can picture it. And I love the idea that this tower is so evil. Even the shadow it casts
like
is
you can't
evil.
Sleep until the shadow doesn't touch the village anymore.
And man, the line, some flaw in her heart that was no one's fault, a twist of fate,
yeah,
but a twist that pulled on his heart almost as violently
just as
hers.
Much.
Jeez, woo,
wow,
woo.
Wow, wow, wee wah. Am I right?
God, bloody hell!
Congratulations, Harry Godfather.
Harry Godfather, incredible
a brilliant
writing,
submission,
absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much.
And our first point of interest.
A first point of interest,
which is really exciting.
Yeah, what a bang! It goes out with an actual bang.
Just bangs.
It? Yeah, just bangers.
It just bangs real
you know
hard.
What? All of them. I say this every single time. All of them are incredibly well written, so keeping to theme, so scary. So many of them were really scary. Really, really, really scary.
Spooky?
So you did a great job.
You did a fantastic job.
You did an incredible job.
I'm really proud of you.
Harry Godfather, congratulations.
Because I know that you haven't written much homebrew before.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that was like, I think your second piece of homebrew.
Second one,
and to write that well, you should be really proud of yourself.
Yeah,
so well done.
Indeed. So that's the end of Dreams and Nightmares.
Are you ready?
And we welcome in a new era.
A new era. A new era that will last 6 weeks.
Yeah. We welcome in a new challenger.
Chosen by Stream.
And the next theme for the next 3 challenges of the Homebrew Challenge is Sea and Sky.
Sea and Sky.
Y'all were foaming. Sea foaming.
People were like...
You were foaming at the mouth for Sea and Sky.
Chomping at the bit for Sea and Sky.
I was genuinely shocked that so many people were so invested in Sea and Sky. So
I do think, but I think there's quite a lot. There's a lot to be done. Like we can start to like dip into like elements and like maybe like Atlantis type like cities under the sea and things like that. I'm not excited for if we roll monsters.
No,
we can't roll monsters.
We can't roll a monster.
That's okay.
Yes,
because I don't want any sea serpents.
So the next 3 themes we're going to roll now. We are picking it off the new
the slightly more condensed list of things that we've never done before to get through like a lot of them.
Yes.
And then eventually we'll open the list back up fully.
Yes, because we revamped the list.
We did.
So to let you know what we could roll, we have 7. We have a race, clothing, accessory, consumable, a religion, culture, or faction, a dungeon, or a quest.
Interesting. I'm going to roll a d8. If we hit 8, it's nothing. We roll again.
Yes, indeed. So... these dice also, we haven't shown it on the podcast yet because our recording days have been so wild. But Tula has cookies over on Twitch. Tula is an incredible member of our community. She sent us a huge gift basket.
Yeah.
And she did some homemade dice for us. I have the sticker, Chemica dice.
Yeah.
We'll actually, I think in the next episode, we'll go through like properly exactly what she sent us.
Yeah.
If you've been on stream, you've already seen.
Yeah.
But we're going to roll Tula's dice.
You should be on stream.
Yeah.
All right.
Right. Are you ready?
Yeah. You ready? Number 1?
Yeah. Number 1.
1.
It is a race. Ooh!
A race.
A race. It is a race.
Very exciting.
Like the Tour de France.
Like the Tour de France.
Like the Tour de France.
A race like the Tour de France.
A race like the Tour de France. All right?
If you've been on stream, you'll get that joke. Number 2.
Yep.
2.
Is clothing.
Clothing. Okay.
Yep. Sorry, dog heard dice and was like, I like to roll dice.
I'm gonna crunch that dice.
I'm gonna have that dice.
Can I crunch that dice, please?
Sorry. So we have what 1 a race,
we have a
2
piece of
clothing, and then this is the last one.
It's 5.
It is a religion, culture, or faction.
A religion, culture, or faction of the sky and the sea.
Oh my god!
Holy
oh my god!
hell.
These are fucking.
No, you're okay. Oh, we're miles past that.
God, these are great ones. So to recap, the next 3 challenges are for this theme: sea and sky, a race,
yep,
a piece of clothing, or a religion.
And a piece of clothing can be what?
A piece of clothing can basically be anything from, I don't know actually.
Like
what did we say that?
Hat, like things that aren't armor.
Like shoes.
Like, yeah, something like that. If they want to be magical, they absolutely can. If they want to be more like cultural, they can be.
Yes,
something like that. Obviously, if we live in the sky and the sea, maybe they need to have a particular purpose. Maybe it's a wingsuit or something like that.
There's, we will, you know what? If we have time, although we are recording this the day before this comes out, we will try to get... In the Discord where you enter, we post all the challenges. We will try to be clear about what clothing is.
Well, it's up to your interpretation.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's what the Homebrew Challenge is for.
True.
A piece of clothing, it could be magical or not. It can't be armor.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's something, for maybe more like the clothy wearers and stuff like that.
Yeah, indeed.
Or maybe just like a pair of shoes, like an item of clothing, something, maybe a shawl, a cowl or something like that.
Yeah.
Something that's not a piece
Some
of armor.
gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indeed. So, if you don't know how the Homebrew Challenge works, just quickly to go through all of it is, we pick a theme, which we just have.
Yeah.
We roll all of the 3 challenges at the same time. Now, you can only enter one challenge
One of
per
the 3
theme.
challenges.
You can only enter one, and you have now... until this Sunday.
Yeah.
You have 7 days to enter your chosen one. You have until Sunday, the 21st of April.
At 7 p.m. BST.
Yeah, 7 p.m. BST. And then we will close all 3 of them.
Yeah.
When we go on to stream that night at 7 p.m., we will roll on a D3 and we will pick which one of those we are going to read out for that stream.
We sure will.
And then we will continue that cycle through until we're done with all 3 of them.
Every 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Very exciting. Get your submissions in. I know you all will, because you go absolutely crazy for the Homebrew Challenge. I'm very excited to see what you've got.
Yes,
I'm
once
excited
again,
to see what you come up with.
We have a race, clothing, religion. You can only enter one. The hard rule is 3,000 characters. It can't be over that. Every single one gets checked. And that's about it, really.
That's it.
Entries close on Sunday, the 21st of April at 7 p.m. GMT. Every single submission will be read out live on stream, and then we will privately pick a winner, and then a winner will be announced in the following episode on the Monday.
Just like
this. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Very good. Very excited.
I can't wait. So, that's kind of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting some advice. If you see me squinting, it's because there's the cold air being blown into my eyes.
Yeah, we have to have the fan on because it is
hot.
Boiling. It is so...
Bedoiling?
It is bedoiling up in here.
My bedoilies?
My bedoilies. My bedoilies.
My bedoilies?
So, with that, with my bedoilies being cold...
Yeah.
Being blown on.
Getting blown.
Blow my bedoilies.
Will my bedoilies get blown?
What can I say?
Me when my bedoilies have been blown on?
Me when I blow your bedoilies. We will move on to today's topic, which is advice. And if you, listen, if you like us and you're enjoying the episode so far, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe.
Like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all the good stuff. It goes a long way to help the channel.
It really does.
A long way to help me and Margaret. It goes a long way to grow the community.
It does.
So there's probably going to be, at least like 1,000, maybe 1,500 people who end up watching this video. So if you liked it, there should be at least 1,000 to 1,500 likes and comments.
You have no idea how much it helps. Thank you all. I say it every single time. Because you guys have been liking and commenting and subscribing so much, it really, really is helping the channel. So thank you so much.
It helps the channel so much. So if you can find it in your heart, please do. Or I'll blow on your bedoily.
Oh my god, and you don't want that.
Because I will. I'll find your bedoily and I'll go.
Oh my god. So with that, shall we get into topic?
Let's go.
All right. These are all submissions.
Put a timestamp down.
I have actually.
She's gaming.
Yeah,
She's
I have actually.
Gaming.
I don't have my nice cube, which
all
is
of these
devastating.
Are submissions.
These are all submissions.
Yeah.
These have all been sent in by Squad Blasters. If you have any advice that you would like us to answer, we have a submission form down below. You can send in your advice submissions. You can send in your horror story submissions. Anything on there, send them in to us.
The Squaddy Biddies.
And with that, shall we get into it?
Let's go.
So this first one, this has been sent in by Harley, and she uses she, her, or they, them pronouns.
Thank you very much, Harley.
Thank you, Harley. Hello, so I have been listening to the podcast for a while now, and I was wondering if you could shed some light and maybe give some advice on a small issue that I had with a party member.
Yeah, no problem.
So I am a baby DM, and I just started D&D a year or two ago, and I spent almost a year and a half creating a whole campaign storyline, as well as almost 12 NPCs, just as a little background.
Awesome.
Anyway, my players consist of all my friends that are interested in playing, and now I have 5 to 6 players. Well, with their first fight was one of the big bads, and I told them this would not be a TPK. It was mostly to help them move the story along, give them a whole reason to fight an uprising, and a war that was being thrust onto them.
In narrative combat, I like it.
I had help DMing the first fight scene because I was having trouble, and one of the players started to get very upset and started saying, "This is so stupid. Why are we even playing this? This is definitely just a TPK. And this doesn't make any sense. Why is this even happening in the story? Other campaigns I've been in wouldn't do this."
Interesting. Well, it's not that campaign, my friend.
And if I may be honest, that really discouraged me and made me feel like I wasn't doing anything right. All of the other players were into it and were having fun trying to defeat a strong opponent, even our newest player that just started playing that day. The person who was helping me with the fight asked if I wanted to let the others know what is happening and why, because there was a huge reveal about to happen. After the session, I told the player how that whole situation made me feel, because I had no intention of killing off their characters or anything like that, and I had made that clear before the fight even happened.
Yeah.
But he kept fighting with the other person who was helping me about certain things, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. I do want to see if I am even being a DM right at this point, and if this person was in the right for saying that. I just want my players to have fun, but this made me take a step back and kind of made me want to step away from D&D for a bit.
Yeah, no, I
Thank you for
that.
reading. Please take care of yourselves. And you too, Harley.
Look, the thing is, as a new Dungeon Master, you handle this situation so perfectly. Like, saying, because I think a lot of Dungeon Masters who are new wouldn't have the nous to maybe even say that. Wouldn't have the knowledge or the forethought to be like, I'm going to make this an unwinnable, like, sort of cinematic narrative storytelling fight.
I'm doing this to introduce you to the BBEG.
To introduce you to the BBEG. You're not going to... They find you, like, small minions and pawns within their Grandmaster plan. They're not going to bother with you. They've got this like alternative objective, and you know, at the end of the day, you're not going to get like TPK'd or anything like that. And you know, you said that out loud, like just go with it. You're not going to get TPK'd, just like flow with it. And for this person to be like, well, why are we even doing this? Is definitely going to be TPK. In every other game I've played, we wouldn't do a combat. Like it's just like, well, that's the thing. You're not in every other game.
Yeah, 100%.
You're in this game now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is how I run things. I need you to understand that this player is being difficult.
Yes.
This player is being honestly a nightmare.
Yeah.
And like I understand that it's probably knocked your confidence, because at the beginning it doesn't even matter if you do everything right. As soon as somebody questions you,
totally. It makes you question everything.
You begin to doubt yourself. You begin to like question if what you did was right.
Yeah.
Take it from me. I've dungeon mastered for quite a long time. You know, I openly like talk about my dungeon mastering like on the internet, and people apparently seem to think I'm a good dungeon master. So take it from me when I say what you did was actually the right thing.
I completely agree.
Having an unwinnable fight is... I've had unwinnable fights in the first sessions of campaigns before. Remember when we fought that Kraken in the first session?
Yeah, indeed.
We were level 1.
Yeah.
The Kraken basically brought down an airship that we were on.
And it was... it was completely narrative.
Completely narrative.
Completely
because they needed to
narrative.
crash on a desert island where the whole campaign took place. Like, it's a very normal thing to do. And the fact that you said out loud, like, this is unwinnable, but just go with it, try your best, like, show your skills off and stuff like that. That's a great way to introduce a campaign.
I agree. I very much agree. And, you know, the thing is, I can... Well, I was going to say I can understand a player being like, oh my god, this is going to be a TPK.
Yeah. But
the second you say,
it's
by the
not.
way, this isn't going to be a TPK.
Yeah.
And then, you know, also to go to the person who was helping you, you know, you haven't specified what it is that they've complained to that person about or what they're saying. But, you know, the fact that they had a problem with your DMing, the fact that they had a problem with this person helping you, I suppose, you know, in a way, co-DMing, right? Like, this seems to be a this person problem.
100%.
Now, you've said here, I've told the player how the situation made me feel. What was their reaction to that, Harley? Is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, when you told them that, were they like, I really apologize.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I didn't mean to. You know, tensions were high. I just said something. I didn't mean it. Or did they stick to their guns and they were like, yeah, well, that was a really weird thing to do. You said he just kept fighting with the other person after this.
Yeah.
And quite often you will find after you have these conversations with people, their reaction is
the most telling thing.
It is, yeah, exactly.
That's what tells you sort of who they are as a person.
I agree.
Because, you know, like, look, we can all make mistakes in life.
Totally.
Every single one of us has made a mistake. But it's the moment when somebody points out the mistake and points out the way it made them feel.
Yeah.
Like you have, like, you know, that made me feel bad about myself and now I'm questioning myself. If they went, I'm really sorry, like, I forgot that you're a new time DM and, like, you wanted to try this and I shouldn't have questioned you. It's like, okay, fair. You know, like, maybe it's we'll keep in the back of the mind that they did it, and if they do it again, fair enough.
Yeah,
but if they were like, nah, you're wrong, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
We know who they are as a person.
Absolutely.
Now look, this is completely up to you because you need to be comfortable. If everybody else enjoyed it,
which they did,
then, you know, like, brilliant. That's what everyone's reaction should have been. You know, unless they just genuinely don't like the campaign and don't like sort of narrative fights like that, because that's okay too. But then they need to know that this campaign isn't for them.
Yeah.
If they still fight back with you and this other person after you bring those things up, then maybe it's just a difference in play style and we need to just cut ties straight away and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want to keep them around because they apologize, just, you know, keep an eye on them, and if they do it again, you know, maybe that's the end of the line for them as a player in your game. But, like, we're people and we have feelings and they need to be considered. And this person isn't considering your feelings.
Yeah, totally.
I think that if it happens again, we know where to go. If they don't react exactly how they should do, which is apologize for how they've acted when you talk to them, they're also gone.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you are a new dungeon master, and there's not enough fucking dungeon masters in this world, because dungeon mastering's hard. So when people make our lives even harder for no other reason than I didn't like that, then I haven't got time for it.
Yeah, when people are like, well, this doesn't make any sense, it's like, because you don't have all the puzzle pieces.
I'm the dungeon master.
You don't know. Like, and it's not for you to say. And you know what? Let's say, even if it didn't make sense, there is ways to go about saying that you're confused.
Yeah.
That isn't, oh, this doesn't make sense, you know? Like, You're saying
it doesn't make sense. It's such a nasty way
a
to
horrible
phrase.
way to phrase it. Totally.
I'm confused.
Yeah, totally. What I have learned recently, very recently, is there is a difference between being blunt and honest and blunt and mean.
Yeah.
Like, there is ways to say things. And you know what? Even blunt, I think being blunt can be mean. There's a difference between being honest and blunt. 100%.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Like being honest about your feelings and being honest about like a situation, and then just being blunt and mean about something
is just unacceptable.
And you know, there's ways to go about it. Like you can not enjoy something and vocalize that in a nice way.
Yeah, totally.
Like, look, just wasn't for me. Maybe like I'll try it again and stuff like that. Not. This doesn't make sense. We're going to TPK. Like, what's going on?
This is so stupid. Why are we even playing this?
Yeah. Stupid. And like, we really need to choose our words more carefully because that's just mean.
Yeah. Like, it's like these people were not taught when they were younger that your words affect people, or maybe they just don't care.
Maybe they just don't give a fuck. That's the thing.
Harley, there's a pattern here.
Yeah.
This person is making fights with other people.
Yeah.
It's not you. It's not your other players. It's them.
Yeah, you aren't making fights.
How they've spoken to you was unacceptable and wrong.
Yeah.
You are doing everything 100% completely correct.
Like the first, like this introducing the BBEG with this narrative storytelling, with telling your players that, you know, like, trust me, it's not going to be a TPK, I promise you. They're all brilliant things to do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If it was maybe further down the line and there was an unwinnable fight, like, we maybe don't have to say, because at that point your players, like, you know, trust how you dungeon master and stuff like that, and they know who you are.
Yeah.
But in session 1, I would do the same thing.
Yeah, agreed.
I would do the same thing.
Agreed. So Harley, fuck them.
Fuck them. If they don't answer they're in the wrong right now.
Yeah,
they're walking the plank. If they don't come to you and say, sorry, you're right, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have acted like that, I won't do it again. If it's not basically exactly what you want to hear, don't have them in your party.
You know, you can talk it through them as well and be like, okay, well, you know, I told you.
Yeah, I did. I literally told you.
What for you was the break in communication there? What was the break in communication between me saying, I'm not going to TPK you, but you still being worried? Is it because someone else has done this to you before?
Yeah.
Because if they have, I'm not going to do this
I'm
to
not
you.
that person.
You know, but that I feel like that's only if they
you
apologize.
Want to, and you want to.
Indeed. So, Harley, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for your submission.
But just one more time, listen to me. You're doing great.
Yep, you
Keep
certainly
it
are.
up. Everyone else enjoyed it.
Yep.
When the thing is, this is natural human reaction. Me and Margaret do it all the time. There's 100,000 nice things said about you. Then one person says one bad thing, and that's the thing we focus on. Yeah. Focus on all of the good things that people say about you, not just the one bad thing that someone says about
absolutely,
you.
100%.
I know it's really hard to do, but try your best.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Harley.
Thank you.
All right, this next one. This has been sent in by Anonymous, and they use they, them pronouns.
Thank you very much, Anonymous.
This is a long one, but there is a lot of context
Let's
to
ride
it. So,
into the night.
I'll just jump in. We are a party of 5, and the player of our cleric has always played him as anxious or a bit of a scaredy cat.
Okay.
It wasn't really an issue in lower levels. We were a new group, and we had only played from level 1 to currently level 7.
Okay.
But recently, it's gotten out of hand. It started as just vague annoyances where every single room we enter involves comments about how we shouldn't do this or don't do that, and any clue we got that was a fight coming up would be met with, well, what if we just didn't go into that room, etc.
Yeah.
The final nail in the coffin, however, was 2 sessions ago. The cleric and I, the barbarian, spent 30 minutes of real time arguing about entering a room to battle a villain. A fight that our DM had expressly told us he was really excited for at the start of the session, since it had been a few sessions coming up. This time delay not only resulted in us having to pause the battle halfway through, but overall just created some not great tension. During the discussion, the player made it clear she understood we needed to go do this battle and had no issue with that, but in character tried to argue that we should just skip it and come back when we were a higher level. This was when I started to get actually mad.
Yep.
1. RDM was so excited for this fight, and now you're talking about skipping it all and ignoring any work that he put into it to maybe try to circle back later, which isn't even physically possible, unfortunately, for the dungeon we're currently playing.
Yeah.
2, I don't mind having a little bit of conversation for roleplay flavor, but having it go on for 30 real-life minutes, acting like I need to legitimately convince this character to do this, is over the top. And 3, why is the cleric even an adventurer then? If he doesn't want to be here, he doesn't have to be. Even with the anxious character traits, he can be anxious, but still be doing these activities without it feeling like pulling teeth for all of us. Now, here's the thing. We finished the fight, and our cleric and sorcerer went down, and they are permanently dead. However, our DM had warned us ahead of time that we were getting to this point and it was possible, so we already have our backup characters created and told us there is a chance that when we finish the dungeon, we will be able to resurrect via the wish spell up to 3 characters.
Okay.
The now former cleric's new PC is already much more ready to jump headfirst into battle and other challenges, and although it's only been half a session, the dynamics are so much less frustrating overall. However, the player has expressed she wants to go get her cleric back at the end before we jump into a new dungeon that I will be taking over as a DM.
Okay.
I had already planned some encounters based on the cleric's backstory, but honestly, I would rather scrap that work than put up with what it's been like recently. Before they go back to playing the cleric, I really want to have a talk with the player to figure out what can be done to keep it in the character she wants, but make it less difficult for the entire party and myself moving forward.
Okay.
But I don't know how to, and I'm worried that it will come off as that I'm mad at her. Note, I haven't talked to the other 3 party members, but the current DM has expressed his frustrations to me directly, as he happens to be my dad, lol. Any advice on how to talk to the player about this without hurting her feelings, it would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, this is really easy because we've had a player like this before.
Yeah.
That we've both encountered. They made a nervous disposition character. They've made a character that was really not an adventure who sort of like fallen into it via like story beats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who, you know, who had the choice to just go home. Like the home was there. But it also almost came to the point where it was like, okay, like you should go home then.
Then just go home.
Because
totally.
like you don't want to adventure, you're really scared and stuff like that. It's really sort of tough to every time we get to an encounter, it's like we shouldn't do this because I'm scared, and it's just like that roleplay is great.
Yeah,
having a character like that, like the weight of combat and the weight of like seeing these scary monsters.
It would take a toll on anyone.
It would take a toll on anyone, but there needs to be the point where that roleplay stops and you go, but I know we have to do it, so let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
It's the moment where you let that roleplay stop you from doing the thing. It's the moment where that roleplay gets in the way of what the dungeon master has planned.
Absolutely.
Where, in my opinion, it's just not okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, you're an adventurer. We're playing an adventuring game. The dungeon master has planned things. I'm scared, but the thing is, my character needs to find the reason to do it. And that's the thing where a lot of people get confused with these characters. It's like, you can have a scared character. Like, the scared, like, not the brave. Like, so scared, hilarious, funny, but when it happened, I need to do it because of.
Yeah.
And that's what those characters absolutely must have.
Yeah, totally. And to be honest, Anonymous, you've actually kind of worded it perfectly yourself with saying, why is the cleric even an adventurer?
Exactly.
Even with anxious character traits, he can be anxious but still do these things, and I completely agree.
They need the narrative reason.
They have to. And I feel like this is a really common thing that happens, unfortunately. Like when you make like a character with a nervous disposition, like the thing is, you want to be true to their character, you want to be true to roleplay.
Yeah.
But when it gets to the realms of 30 real life minutes,
too long.
Like that is incredibly frustrating.
So long.
To be honest, when this happened with us, it was incredibly frustrating. I wouldn't say it was half an hour, but sometimes it could be upwards of. It could be sometimes. In character, having to talk other characters around is really difficult, and it feels like a waste of time.
The thing is, I think it can be good if as soon as that person talks you round, you go, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, if they have to talk you round time and time and time and time again, like that just becomes like a burden, a hindrance, something that slows everything down.
And you know, it becomes frustrating, and it becomes this foreboding type of thing where
you're like looking at the combat and you're like,
and you're like, I know for a fact we're going to have to try and talk this character into it. And
waiting for them to say it.
The thing is, it's Anonymous, when you say here, like the cleric's character was like, God, I really don't want to do this. But the player was like, yeah, it's fine. I often find that with things like this, there is unfortunately bleed over for some reason.
Yeah.
Right? It could be because people don't want to lose, because people don't want to do the wrong thing.
See, I would agree with you, but apparently the next character was totally fine.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe they were just too into the role play.
Totally.
I think it's just a simple conversation of mentioning what you've mentioned, maybe mentioning 100%. What I've mentioned. It's like, I love the role play. It's fair.
You are one of the best role players I've ever met.
Yeah. And like you like clearly like really believe in it, and it's a character trait that you really stick to, but it's brilliant until we get to the moment where you don't have the reason to do the fight.
Totally.
Like your character needs the reason to fight, because if they don't have the reason to fight, we'll just go around in this cycle, in this loop of, well, I'm scared. It's like, I know, but you're an adventurer and it's a game and we've got things planned.
And, there has to be a certain level of buy-in.
Yeah.
We say this all the time. There has to be a level of buy-in where there's a point where you as your player forego your character because you have to.
Because you have to. Because that's what we've got planned.
On in the adventure.
And that's what we need to do to get past the story.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, OP, you have worded it perfectly.
Yeah.
And trust me, it doesn't have to be this like, oh, they think I'm mad at them, I'm having a go at them. When we had a talk to this player, it was me. I was very much like, look, you are an incredible role player. You're doing a great job. I know it's role play, but it is getting really frustrating.
And the thing is, that player was actually like,
oh my God, I didn't realize.
Yeah, I didn't realize. And they were like, I was actually planning when we got to X level that I was going to start to overcome it. So they were just like, I'll just fast track it and do it now.
And literally, it took like what, a half an hour conversation.
Max.
And it wasn't this like, accusing thing. It was very much just like, it's getting very frustrating.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because we have to stop everything we're doing to try and talk you round.
Yeah.
And I was like, it feels like a waste of time.
Yeah, and like plans were just getting foiled because it was like, well, we can't do that because I'm scared.
Yeah.
We can't do X because what if we get in trouble?
We would find that we would be planning for something for upwards of sometimes an hour.
Yeah.
Because every single plan that we had, this character was like, well, no, God, well, we can't do this.
We can't do that.
It was incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
So, I fully understand what you're feeling, and take it from someone who has had to have this conversation with a friend. It literally is as simple as being like, you're a great role player. I love the role play, but it's going on for a bit too long. And I think you will agree, when we're having to pause for 30 minutes to just have a conversation to talk you into it again and again and again, it would be okay if it was every now and then.
Yeah, and also, but your character, you and your character need to find the reason.
Yeah, you need to find the reason.
It doesn't need to come from another person. You can talk about how you're scared, but you can say, but I need to do it because of X.
Totally.
I need to do it because of Y. We need to get through this because I need to get X and Y and Z. Like, we need, as adventurers, we need the reason. Otherwise, we just need to go home. That's the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And again, Anonymous, you have said everything perfectly here.
Absolutely.
I think you know what you need to say, and just go about it by being like, I love you as a player.
Yeah.
I'm excited to DM for you. But I've noticed this, and for all of these reasons, can we work together to find a way to, in those moments, if maybe it's going too far, for us to be able to nip it in the bud?
Yeah.
And also work on a narrative reason to why your character would want to do this.
Yeah. You need it. You need it as a player.
Yeah, indeed.
Very good.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Anonymous. I hope that helps. All right. This next one, this has been sent in by Nerdy Nate.
Nerdy Nate.
Nerdy Nate with an N8, and he uses he, him pronouns.
Thank you very much, Nerdy Nate.
Hello, I am still a pretty new DM, but I've found myself challenged by how my players tend to view my NPCs. More often than not, once the party members begin to pursue a plot hook, they become suspicious of most NPCs I introduce them to. Sure, caution is helpful and healthy, but I'm having a hard time facilitating a bond between the player characters and the NPCs of this campaign. I would like my players to have allies that they can rely on, trust, and perhaps even love and take risks to protect or assist. Not every adventure includes a mystery, yet my players seem to expect a conspiracy at many turns. How can I subtly convince my players to trust NPCs more often and more sincerely? Will the storytelling techniques I use to create these bonds between PCs and NPCs ultimately be for nothing the moment I let any NPC betray their trust? I worry they may revert to being particularly suspicious again. even so when many NPCs are genuinely on their side.
Yeah. Okay. So, being suspicious as a player is natural. They just do it.
Oh yeah. Oh, trust me.
But I think maybe your players are on the maybe too suspicious side right now. I think there needs to be a moment. Like, trusting NPCs can sometimes take time because things need to pay off for them to be like, okay, we can fully trust this person.
Us with the Herald.
Yeah, with the Herald, and now you know that he is a.
Yeah. Now we know we can trust him.
Now you know you can trust him. But and there's reasons, you know, when they're like integrated into backstories or maybe they have something to hide, there is a reason for them to be suspicious. But as you need to basically show them, like, the NPC is letting the party in. They're letting them into their secret because they trust them. And then that trust will probably go both ways. Have your NPCs have a secret that they don't really share with many people, but they share with the party because they realize that the party are maybe different. They're stronger, they're capable, and they need them to do something. Let's just say it's a shopkeep who, you know, there's a rival shop that's sort of like stealing their patterns and their blueprints and selling their ideas and stuff like that. And you need to find out how they stole it and that they stole it. And then, you know, when that happens, they give them 50% off everything for lifetime because they've basically saved their business or something like that. And it's just like, you've let them in on a massive secret, you've helped them out, and it's paid off, and now they know that they can trust them forever.
Yeah, it could be something, you know, that's a brilliant one because, listen, we all love a hookup with a shop, right?
Yeah, we love a hookup with a shop.
But, you know, you could have... Let's say if you have it, I don't know if you do like traveling NPCs with your characters. You know, we often have like traveling NPCs who stay with us for like a combat or like a session or something like that. Normally because we invite them because we're psychos who love NPCs too much.
Who love every NPC.
We have the opposite issue.
I don't really have this trouble, say.
But, you know, maybe you could have it so they're traveling with a party and overnight, you make sure this NPC aligns slightly with a PC and the PC is taking their watch. The NPC can't sleep and comes and sits with them. And they're maybe tracking something. And the NPC just says, well, I'm tracking them because I lost my wife to them. I lost my daughter to them. I lost my partner. You know, something like that. Have the PC be able to see similarities between them and
themselves
the NPC.
And the NPCs.
And, you know, like, obviously that moment could be a private moment between your NPC and your player's character, but the whole table will hear it. And they will hear this character, like maybe someone who was really hard exterior softens up a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe in combat, an NPC goes out of their way to take a hit for someone.
Yeah.
Goes out of their way to create a distraction for them.
Yeah.
You know, like there is so many ways you can do it.
You can even get a little meta about it and be like, I understand that it's hard to trust people in this world. There's a lot of people out to get you, but, you know, like, and even just let them be as honest to be like, you know, we all need friends and right now I need you or something like that.
Like, flip it on its head. Have the NPC be like, can I trust you?
Can I trust you?
Can I trust you?
Because I need somebody to trust in this situation.
100%.
And then they give them an important quest or something like that.
Pull on the heartstrings.
Pull on the heartstrings. But also, just know, if none of those things work, if the, you know, paying things off and, like, letting them into secrets and, you know, like, really, like, relating to them or, like, throwing themselves in front of a blow for them, if none of that works, you can just say, above table, just so you know, some of these NPCs are going to be on your side.
Totally.
Like, they need you, and not every NPC is out to betray you. One or two could be, maybe at some point, but just know that not every single one is.
And you can honestly,
if you wanted to.
Yeah, totally. You can even go as far as saying, like, I would love you guys to be able to have some relationships with these NPCs.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm a player as well, and these NPCs are kind of my way to be able to be close with you, other than being like the narrator of the story.
And if you want, you can just throw the most likable NPC at them.
Yep.
Because sometimes, you know, we can get into the edgelord NPC trope of just throwing in like really brooding and really like nasty and like sort of like hard edged NPCs. You can throw him a Dagmar or something like that.
Yeah, throw him a Dagmar.
Who was literally the least scary, the least dangerous man on Earth.
Yep.
They found him as he was literally about to die, and they saved him. And then, you know,
he was just a fucking nerd.
They knew from the moment that he wasn't a threat.
Yeah,
he couldn't be threatening even if he tried.
Yep, 100%. And, you know, like this whole suspicion thing as well. I guess, Nate, if you like look back and think, was there a moment actually where this suspicion is warranted.
There's a reason why this
is there something like as a DM that I've done that maybe I haven't realized has affected them this much for them to think this? And if so, there is actually no harm in above table being like, you know what, I didn't realize that this XYZ had affected you so much.
Yeah.
I have realized this, and I want you to have better relationships with the NPCs.
Yeah.
You know, betrayals and plot twists are part of the story. Like, that's what makes a story. No, true. We do. But, you know, we had a fucking big plot twist betrayal. Or, well, maybe not necessarily betrayal. Well, yeah, well, a big plot twist.
I wouldn't say it was a betrayal.
We had a big plot
twist.
And someone who is so important to someone's backstory. Oh, I can't wait to tell you guys about it. But yeah, Nate, I hope that helps. There is so many subtle ways you can do it. And if that doesn't work, or if you would prefer to just nip it in the bud,
just say it out loud.
You can just say it out loud, and that is fine. Truly.
Again, like I said, I struggle with this because my NPC, my players are just so ready to befriend almost every NPC.
Yeah, truly. Yeah, we really are.
From the moment.
Yeah, we really are. And I like
to throw in something like the Herald.
Yeah.
You know, which is a little bit like,
dodgy.
Can they be? Can they not be?
Yeah,
but I'm allowed to do that. But it's not that I'm allowed to do it. I am afforded to do that because my players are so trusting. So when I throw them a curveball, they realize very quickly that it's a curveball.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Nate, I hope that helps. And please keep us updated. So the next one.
Let's go.
This has been sent in by ScottySwirl, and he uses he/him pronouns.
Thank you, ScottySwirl.
Hi, I watch your podcast on YouTube pretty much loyally now, and I think you guys are swimply funny, wholesome, and give amazing D&D advice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scotty.
That's very nice to hear. I really appreciate it.
I also think you guys have a very kind and supportive community. We certainly do.
We really do.
Anyway, here is my conundrum, and I would love to know what you guys think. For nearly 2 years, I've been running a homebrew Pokemon D&D campaign with 5 dedicated players.
Awesome.
And the journey has been fun. However, recent events took a turn when the party arrived at an impoverished desert village controlled by a local gang. This is giving me, have you played, I know you haven't. Have you played Pokemon Coliseum? The first town you get to? It reminds me of that. I can't even remember what it's called. It reminds me of that.
It's giving, what's that place from Campaign 3? Oh, God. I can't remember. The deserty place that they go to there that's sort of ran by that gang.
Us being so vague with what we're talking about.
Campaign 3, when they get to the desert place on the sky ship, it's given that, and I can't remember the name of it. Can't remember.
They arrived at an impoverished desert village controlled by a local gang.
Yeah.
Despite my warnings to tread lightly, they couldn't resist making a big scene.
Yep. That's what players do.
As the party explored the village's bazaar, I introduced them to its black market, where rare Pokemon from other regions were being sold off.
Sick.
In hindsight, this was a bad idea on my part, underestimating my players' protective instincts when it comes to Pokemon.
Not a bad idea. That's what you wanted to do.
Ignoring the risks, 2 players decided to free the captive Pokemon with little opposition from the others. Long story short, fueled by good intentions, they launched a rescue mission, resulting in a sandstorm that inadvertently destroyed the entire bazaar.
Damn.
In the aftermath of the session, I discussed the gravity of their actions with my players, highlighting how they had basically devastated the village's only source of income. While some understood, others downplayed the consequences. As we approach the next session, I don't actually know how to proceed. I want them to grasp the repercussions of what they did without resorting to punishing them directly. One idea I had was to have the gang retaliate by confiscating the village's Pokemon as payment, but this might lead to the party confronting the gang directly. Alternatively, the party could face no direct consequences and just have an NPC urging them to leave to avoid stirring up more trouble. What do you guys think I should do? How do I make my players understand that the consequences in their actions in a way that feels authentic to the world I created, but doesn't put them in an unwinnable battle situation?
Okay. So, look. Players want to do the right thing. So, you know, I'm not massively surprised that they saw this black market Pokemon thing and they wanted to free them all and stuff like that.
We would have done, Scotty, we would have done exactly
the same. They did
the same.
What you need to do now, in my opinion, narratively, the best thing to do now is they're going to want to fight the bad guys.
Yeah, they're going to want to. Quite
inevitable.
simply, they're going. Quite swimply.
Quite swimply, they are the good guys. They're going to want to fight the bad guys.
Yeah, they're going to want to punish who's ever done this.
What they need and what you need to put into this campaign is you need to, I don't know, it needs to be like a fucking really rare thing, but they need to find something that gives this small town another income.
Yes.
They need to uncover something that's been hidden by the gang for so long. The reason why the gang is still here, because maybe the gang was never here because of this black market Pokemon trade. That's small time. That's just the laundry for this thing that they're hiding.
Yes.
And when they defeat the bad guys in the town and they uncover this thing that the bad guys are hiding, they can give it to the town, and then the town prospers in a different way, in a sustainable way.
Absolutely.
Where they can, like, they came in, yeah, maybe it looked bad for a minute because they took away their income, but they defeated the bad guys, and then they found the real reason the bad guys were here. I don't know, like a fucking Pokemon that shits gold, and then they'll never run out of money or something like that.
Something like that. Maybe where you could
Ho-ho
have it.
that lays golden eggs.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah,
and
yes.
Then they have a endless source of income.
Totally. It could be that this black market Pokemon selling, you could spin it where maybe they're doing some sort of experimentations, right? Experiments. And the Pokemon, you could find that once they actually look at the Pokemon closer, they are slightly different.
Yeah.
They are different genetically.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe the gang have like an underground type of lab thing where they're trying to genetically enhance these Pokemon to do certain things, like to shit gold.
To shit gold.
Ho-ho
shits golden eggs.
Yeah. Something like that,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then your players are going to want to be like, oh my god, we need to get to the lab so we can free these Pokemon, and then have it so when the Pokemon are freed, they don't know how to live outside of captivity, and they have to be taken care of, but they also shit gold or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And then
like,
the community can take care of these Pokemon.
And take care of themselves.
But prosper. Exactly.
And they can, like, basically, you need to put in something where this community is going to be self-sufficient after defeating the gang.
Exactly.
The gang was hiding something that makes it so maybe they did destroy the black market trade, and that looks really bad right now. But here you go. Here's the shitting golden egg.
Like,
ho.
This could be such a fun arc. I think
huge arc.
This could be
make it really fucking like it runs far deeper than you thought.
Let them fight the gang.
Yeah.
But let it be more like a dungeon crawl. Don't let it be all of the gang appear at once. Have it. Hey, you know what it's like to go into Team Rocket's base, right? You fight grunt after grunt after grunt, then you get to Giovanni, and then it's the big boss fight.
Yeah.
You could make it something like that. I think have an NPC, have multiple NPCs be like, we're so glad you helped these Pokemon, but oh my god, the gang are going to come and they're going to kill us now.
Yeah.
The gang are going to punish us for this. We need your help. You need to make this right. We're really scared.
Yeah.
Your players are going to be like, on it.
Yeah, and maybe like when they fight the gang, there's one that like betrays the gang and lets them know what's really going on or something like that. Yeah. Or they find a note about the underground laboratory or something. Just like something that's just like there's something more going on here.
Totally.
And then it can lead into a really big arc.
Like really fun arc as
and then
well,
it can lead into something where it's just like, do you know what? You came here, you took a risk, but in the end you made a difference. And they're gonna feel so
top
good
of the
about
world.
this.
And the thing is, they wanted to do the right thing, right?
They always do.
They didn't mean to destroy it. And the thing is, your players have made it. You have a blessing here because your players have made it very clear what they care about, what they want to do,
who
what
they are as
interested
people.
in. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and you can really lay it on thick.
Lay it on like turbo thick.
And be
so
like,
thick.
if you really want to make them feel bad in the moment and feel like they have to, they're going to want to fight the gang anyway.
They're gonna fight the gang.
You could have it so like maybe the money from the black market sales, some of it was going to helping a poker center that was looking after like sick Pokemon, and now these Pokemon are going to suffer. Maybe it could be more human based. There was something where the black market was helping a hospital or an orphanage. You know what I mean? Something fucking awful. So your players are like, we fucked up here.
But then they realize that
we have a chance to
there's
make
something
it right.
going on.
You can have NPCs being like, yeah, I've heard that they're doing weird experiments.
Yeah.
Since they went underground, there's been like a strange influx in money somewhere. You know, it doesn't have to be shit and gold, by the way. Obviously,
no, but that's
it can be whatever's relevant.
That's just
to you.
a metaphor for there's something here that's really valuable, and that's really why the gang is here. That's really why the grunts are here. They put the black market in place to sort of like as a front, but your players are going to find it and then they're going to give it to the people because you've laid it on so thick that like you've maybe almost destroyed the economy here.
Yep,
and,
absolutely.
You know, they're going to get that chance of redemption and that's going to feel real great.
Yeah, there is Scotty, if you want to do this, by the way, if you're happy with having this arc here and going down this route, I think you will have a lot of fun. I think this is a really good way to show your players consequences to their actions without it feeling bad.
Without it feeling bad?
It will hurt. It will hurt
Initially,
them,
it'll hurt.
but it doesn't feel bad, and then they have a chance to right their wrongs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think you can have a really cool...
I think it'll be really cool. And, you know, you don't really need to make... If you don't want to, you don't have to make them, like, feel really bad or anything like that. You can just have the, like, the sustainable income thing happen. And,
totally.
But, you know, it depends how thick you want to lay it on. But
yeah.
I think it's a great idea to do.
Absolutely. So... Well, I hope that helps, Scotty.
I hope that helps. That's what I would do.
That's what I would do.
That's
That's exciting. That's really exciting.
It is
for you.
exciting. Take it as an exciting opportunity. You've got this.
And you know what? Good on you for not wanting to... like, I feel like a lot of DMs would just guilt trip and guilt trip and guilt trip and make it terrible. You care. Obviously, your players care.
Yeah.
So good luck. Please let us know how that goes. Please let us know if that's even, you know, relevant, to be honest. Oh, he's fast asleep.
Yes.
Oh, he is out.
Good lad.
He is down. All right. This next one. This is third to last. This has been sent in by Anonymous.
Okay.
And they use they them pronouns.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Couldn't get the words out. I have a party of 4 players that I have been DMing for a while now. In the beginning, the players were super interested in the campaign and texted me almost all the time about the plot and their theories. Recently, however, I made a mistake as a new DM. During a tough combat encounter, I realized that our spellcaster was more dangerous than I expected, and instead of increasing the difficulty of the encounter, I thought targeting them would be sufficient. Okay. After the encounter, the spellcaster was upset, rightfully, so might I add, and I immediately felt horrible. After the encounter, I spoke with the spellcaster privately, and I tried to apologize and help him understand that my intentions weren't malicious and it wouldn't happen again. I just wanted to emphasize how dangerous the encounter was, and they were making it look easy. The following session, the spellcaster is less communicative and gives off the vibe that they're just here out of obligation. We usually have an end of session discussion about what I can improve on and what they like about the session, but the spellcaster just leaves minutes after the session with no warning. The vibe of the campaign are now off, and I feel like it's completely my fault. I tried to ignore that feeling I have and trust them, but the difference in behavior is like night and day. My other players still seem to like the campaign, but at this point the awkward vibe is spreading, and I hate to say it, but I find myself slowly starting to dread session days because of a stupid mistake I made. I loved this campaign and only wanted to share it with people and experience the story with them, but I feel myself becoming more insecure as a DM and in the decisions I'm making. What do you guys think I should do? Please don't sugarcoat anything if I'm in the wrong here, and please let me know, and any advice would be very helpful.
Okay. So, I just want you to know that if somebody's on the battlefield dealing loads of damage,
it's okay to target them.
It's okay to target them.
Yeah.
Like that's not a weird, horrible thing to do. You do understand that. I do that all the time. Somebody comes in with a massive crit, shows themselves as being massively dangerous. My enemy's going to turn around and hit them.
100%.
Like, that is a viable thing to do. That is a very normal thing to do.
And this is what we say. You know, we hear so often from people, how do I balance this paladin? How do I balance this wizard? How do I balance these things? And, you know, we always say it's okay to target them every now and then.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, Anonymous, it sounds like you have only done it.
Yeah.
Just the once.
But the thing is, what you need to do when you do it is say it out loud.
Yeah,
because
totally.
you need to communicate. I say it out loud. I'm like, it gets to my turn on the enemy and Magus just landed like a big crit, or like is concentrating on a really powerful spell that's almost like trivializing the combat.
Bane.
And like the enemy's like got more than like 1 intelligence or something like that. I literally say like, you did a lot of damage there, or like you're like holding down this battle and they're struggling.
Yeah, the leader says kill her,
or like they're gonna turn around and literally look directly at you, and they're gonna take a problem with you because you've done this, you've done that, you've dealt too much damage, you're concentrating on a really powerful spell, you seem to be the biggest threat, and they need to get rid of you. Like, I will do that. That is because otherwise we're just hitting random players.
Absolutely. And honestly, I think that communication is kind of the difference.
Yeah.
And, you know, hey, again, Anonymous, give yourself a bit of a break here. Sorry.
Somebody was at the door.
Someone's at the door.
Very, very normal thing. Like I think Margaret was about to say, give yourself a break. You
yes.
knew.
Oh, goodness gracious me. Sorry, yes. You're a new DM. You haven't done this. Well, I mean, you say you're a new DM.
Yeah.
And you say a mistake I've made as a new DM. Oh my God. How many mistakes do people make the first time they do something? Not even the first time they do something. Forever and always.
Yeah.
By the way.
We all still learn. We all still make mistakes.
And the thing is, I actually don't even think it's fair to class this as a mistake.
No, it's not a mistake.
This is, I promise you, a very normal thing to do.
A lot of Dungeon Masters do this.
And yes, there is a right way and a wrong way to do it. Anonymous, based on what you've said here, and I don't know, but it sounds like you immediately went to this player. You immediately said, I'm sorry, I apologize, I won't do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean for it to feel bad. Like, you've already had, to be honest, you've said everything that we would have told you to say.
And the thing is, you're like, I won't do this again. It's like, you should be able to do this again.
You totally
like, you
should be able to do this again.
But it's having the open communication in the session. Like, the enemy turns to you, they see you as a threat, they're going to start attacking you. Yeah, maybe, they can attack them once or twice and then they can get really hurt and they might misty step away and then the attention turns, but it's just like, these combats are dangerous, these combats are threatening. Like, we should be able to do that. But at this point, the one thing that I will say to you, the only thing I'm going to say to you right now is...
I don't have my nice cube.
I know that you're saying the vibes have changed. I can tell it's clear as day, it's night and day and stuff like that. There's a lot of times in life, and we do this, and everyone does this, where you think there's a problem, so you make a problem.
Yeah, totally.
I'm not saying that it's, it could definitely be, and I don't know, but there's so many times in life where because I'm conscious of something, I begin to notice it, and I begin to make things up in my mind, like weave narratives about something. Like this person, they left just after the session. They might have left just after the session a few times, but because you didn't think they were mad at you, you didn't realize.
Yeah, totally.
But because you're so hyper focused on it, because you're so like tuned into it right now,
and I think feeling guilty about it as well.
Feeling guilty about it, as soon as they don't do something that they would normally do, you're like, it's because of X, Y, and Z.
Totally.
It's like,
yeah.
They could have just needed to go.
Certainly, yes, certainly.
They could have just been having a bad day.
Yeah, certainly.
I would just what I would do at this point is check in with them and just be like, do you want to know what? You were doing a lot of damage. I should have told you in the moment, like the enemy was going to turn to you, because that's very normal to do.
Which you've already said all of this.
But I didn't. I just want to vibe check and just make sure you're still okay and make sure you're still enjoying yourself.
Yeah, and you can say what you've said here as well.
100%. Just be honest about it.
You can go in and be like, hey, I know we've talked. And to be fair, OP, you haven't mentioned how they responded to you.
Yeah.
Were they like, oh, it's fine, don't worry?
Yeah.
Or were they like, yeah, man, that really sucked. Like, that sucked.
Yeah.
Like,
because at the same time, if they did say that, that's not fair.
No, I agree. And the thing is, there's kind of a few points here. Depending on how they reacted, Anonymous, I would try and take that at face value. Now, let's say you're in tune with what is happening and there is a vibe that is off.
Yeah.
Check in with them and just say, hey, I know we've already talked and we've kind of squared this out, but I can't help but notice that you left a bit early. I feel like there is a vibe change, like the vibes have changed. I just want to make sure you're okay. Because
what's wrong with checking in on our friends?
Yeah, I just want to make sure you're all right. And if there is anything lingering, let's talk about it, because I want you to have fun. I want to have fun. And really, I just want to clear my mind because I am feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with saying that.
Yeah.
And I also think if this spellcaster is being bad about it, right? They are sulking about it. They're feeling attacked. They're a little hurt by it. I think some players like to only win.
Yes.
Some players like to only succeed. They don't like being nerfed in any way.
Yeah.
They don't like being targeted anyway. We've played with a player like this.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very common thing. They see getting hit as they fail.
Yeah, exactly. Which absolutely isn't the case. And again, I just want to make it so clear that it is completely normal and fine for you to target the person who is making your combat trivial.
Yeah.
It's okay to do that.
Some people are going to just thrive in certain combats because of terrain, because of type of enemy, because of vulnerabilities, because of resistances. Some people are just going to be better at different combats. Like a paladin fighting a vampire, it's going to be over because you're going to do mega damage with the smites and stuff like that. So when we have to like try and target a specific person as a dungeon master, by the way, which is one of the very small tools in our arsenal that we can do if we've got an intelligent enemy, is target somebody who's doing too much damage, is target somebody who's concentrating on a spell. We need to just be open and honest with why they're doing it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like it's us as a dungeon master, because it's not. It's our enemies think like this, and that's why they're doing it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you also say here at the end, like, I'm finding myself dreading session day. If you're feeling like that, it's okay to take some time off, Anonymous.
Take a break. Just have a week off.
Take a break. Totally. Give yourself some space from it, because like Jack said, there could be a chance that you are just really reading into things. I can feel how guilty you are. I can feel
not you are.
You feel.
You feel.
I can feel how guilty you feel. Yeah,
you
sorry.
are. You're so guilty.
You're so guilty. Sorry. I can feel how guilty you feel, and you have no reason to. You have gone to this person. You have discussed it. You've explained why.
Yeah.
And one thing that really helps me when I've had to have a conversation with someone or vibes feel off, I'm like, okay, I saw this and I feel this. Is there anything that proves to me that my conclusion from their actions is true? Have they confirmed it to me? Is there anything that would suggest that? And if not, it's just me making it
might
up.
just be in my head.
Totally. And I'm not saying, Anonymous, that is the case 100%. I'm not saying that.
No, we don't know, but it could be a possibility.
It could be. So yeah, if you're feeling like, give yourself a break.
Yeah.
Give yourself some room to breathe. Please check back in with this player. Pay attention to how they're responding to you.
Mm-hmm.
If they're responding like, I'm up, it's fine.
It's fine.
Don't worry, it happens.
Like, just don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, it sucked in the moment, but I understand and it's fine.
Yeah, I just don't have many hit points, so I was just worried that I was going to go down.
Then there you go. You can let it go and you can breathe. If they respond being like, yeah, we'll just make sure you don't do it again. Or they respond like, yeah, that was really bad of you. Then, you know, maybe there is a little bit of a don't like to be hit complex going on. Yeah. And that is a completely separate conversation.
That we can tackle if that is the case.
If and when that happens.
So you can put in another advice if that's the case, and we can talk about it. But I just, do those things that we talked about, and I hope that helps.
Absolutely. Anonymous, good luck. I really hope that helps.
You got this.
And it's okay to target someone.
It's okay.
It really is. I promise you, it really
extremely
is.
viable.
No sugarcoating needed here.
Master.
It's okay to do that.
If you need to target somebody as a dungeon master, you need to target somebody as a dungeon master.
Certainly.
I do it all the time.
Certainly.
And I talk to many dungeon masters who do it all the time as well.
But again, the open communication of being like, damn, they're after you now.
They're after you now. That was a big hit, and they're worried. You need to. They need to get you down. Yep. I say that stuff all the time.
All the time.
And loads of dungeon masters do.
All the time.
So you did the right thing, but you just need to tell them why the character, the NPC, is doing it, not you.
Yeah. Indeed. All right, this is the penultimate, or should we make this the last? The last one's really short.
Okay.
Shall we read this and see?
Go on,
this
then.
could be the last. This could be the penultimate.
Could be the penultimate.
Who knows? We're trying really hard to keep the episode slightly shorter.
Yes.
Right. So this has been sent in by Cats, and she uses she/her pronouns.
Thank you, Cats.
Thank you, Cats. Hello, you guys. I am looking for advice as a DM. I've been DMing and playing for about 8 years now, mainly D&D 5e.
Nice.
Recently, people have come to me wanting to learn D&D. We had a meeting just playing board games so I could get to know everyone, and then a session 0, setting ground rules and helping with character creation.
Excellent.
Since then, we have played 2 sessions, and I am generally very happy with the group.
Awesome. That's so
the
good.
Players are enthusiastic and creative, taking very well to role-playing. My question concerns one of my players. They are very enthusiastic, which is great, but perhaps a little overzealous. They play a wizard and have a backstory that means they want to find a very rare artifact.
Cool.
Each session, they try and gain information about this one of 2 in the world artifacts, asking random NPCs and looking through any book they come across. They roll well, and I try to give them things that make sense in context. Most NPCs will not have even heard of this object, and quickly going through a public library stack won't show up anything with specific information. So I try to keep it realistic, but also try to give them something. For example, they have found a book more generally about artifacts, and I have offered that they could lend it, maybe finding information in it that could hint at something that they wouldn't find immediately just browsing through. Or the librarian has said she will look into the matter. My player, however, seems disgruntled. I don't want to ruin their enthusiasm, but I don't want to give them very specific information in the most random of places. I find that these things have to be earned a little, and I don't just want to give them a map where X marks the spot in any random place they come across on their journey. So, how do you deal with players that perhaps expect too much from high rolls without disappointing them? How could I guide them to where they see more chances using downtime for their research or not giving up their search after a single roll in a random place that did not yield them what they were looking for? I wish you all the best.
Okay.
You two, cats.
You two. I have got a good idea for you. I have a player like this. And she won't be upset with me saying her name. She's called Abby. Abby does like a good chance of the arm.
She certainly does.
You know, she does roll well, but sometimes those, you know, you can't pay it off every time. You just can't.
No.
And as a dungeon master, you just can't. But I have a good idea for you though. Let's just say this librarian said they'll look into it. What if they, I don't know. So let's just say they go to the library and the librarian's like, I'll look into it. They come back for the information. The librarian slips them the note. Meet me at the tavern at 7 p.m. They go and meet them at the tavern. Turns out the librarian knows something about this artifact and they're part of a group that does. But they sort of maybe even like grab the wizard and they're like, what do you know about it? Tell me everything you know about it or something like that. Sorry. There was a noise and Margaret got scared. So we're back. Yeah, so maybe this librarian's like, meet me at the tavern at 7 p.m. And then maybe they grab the wizard or something on the way to the tavern and they're like, what do you know? It could be a rival group that's trying to find the artifact for a bad use. It could be a really strong ally and they realize that there's a group of people who want this artifact for a good reason or something like that. And they're like, yes, here's the information that we know about it. And then, you know, but then they say to them, you need to be careful. This artifact is strong. This artifact is powerful. You can't go around just asking people about it. You're going to get yourself in trouble. I know about it. Who else could know about it? You know, people who want powerful things are usually powerful people.
Totally. And you know, give them the warning being like, you need to be careful.
Yeah, you need to be careful.
You need to be careful when you're looking for these things.
They could make an ally. They could join this group. They could learn loads about it. But then at the same time, they get the warning. Don't go around asking people because you're going to get yourself in trouble. That will give you as a dungeon master respite from them asking all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah,
but also,
totally.
They get something. They join a group. They make an ally. Yeah. They find out valuable information.
Totally. You could have it that this NPC has sending or a way to be able to get in contact with them. And every so often when you feel like it's relevant, when you're like, okay, because you said here, like you're happy to give them information, but not just in like random ass places. If you know that NPC, the character is going to an area, has encountered something, etc., it's okay to have the NPC contact them and be like, all right, I found this information out.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. It aligns with what they're currently doing right now.
We're heading north and there's this clue that we've got to the north or something like that. Maybe a group had used it up north and now that's like traces of it or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe they don't hand them the note. Maybe the librarian sent, like, when they go to bed at night, the librarian sends them a message, like a sending spell, and they're like, what do you truly know about this artifact or something like that? You know what I mean? Just like give them something that gives them information about it. Doesn't give it all.
Yes,
they join a group. They find an ally who's also wanting to find it. They maybe find an enemy who's also looking for it.
Definitely.
But they get the vibe that they can't just go around asking about this artifact.
Absolutely. And you know, as well as that, it also means that, man, I had a point. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I had a point. Oh my God, I had a point.
You've got this. Make your point.
What was the point? The point. It means that they just, you know, they're not, it's secret. You know, I don't know. And, you know, I was going to say, you know, you say here, like, how do I kind of tell them, like, this gives you, oh my God, sorry. I'm so.
She's discombobbed.
I'm all over the place.
Discombobulated.
You being able to say all of these things through the NPC means you don't have to say it above table as the DM, unless you also want to. Yeah. But, you know, it means you can be like, this is really dangerous. You're not going to find information about this. Be like, you know, you can be like, it's such a secret.
It's an artifact.
People are not going to willingly give you this information. No. You're not going to find this information anywhere. And it would be best for you to keep that to yourself as well. You know, that tells them everything they need to know. Now, in terms of the high rolls and being disgruntled about it, listen, we do that as players. We do it. We see high number, we go, oh God, I win. You know, that's how it works.
I mean, fingers crossed, that solution of like,
definitely
will curb the constantly asking.
Yes, definitely.
Thus meaning there's less rolls.
Yes.
Thus meaning when they do roll, it's probably because they have an inkling that they actually might find
they're
something
actually
out,
onto something.
which means when they do roll high, you can actually give them
reward
something.
it. Totally.
Like at the minute, because they've got nothing to go on.
And you say it's session 2, right?
Yeah, they're just asking and asking and asking and asking. Like that solution that we were just talking about
very much so
will probably stop that behavior.
And also with players, you say it's session 2. You've probably had a couple more since here, but it's session 2. When you go into a new campaign and you have your player backstory, like you focus on things, you really focus on things, right? You really make it a point and you drive it home because you want people to know this is my character, this is what they're about.
Yeah.
There's a chance this overzealousness will calm down over time naturally as well. And again, with the high rolls and them being upset about not getting information for a high roll, you can actually talk through your process at the table. You can be like, okay, well, you're looking in a public library. This artifact is quite rare. There's probably nothing about this, but you can find a book about artifacts in general. Or
maybe you could just find a book about I don't know, because I don't know what the artifact is and I don't know what it does.
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know, the artifact like leaves like residual magic or like leaves like something in an area, or there's like there's something notable about a space where the artifact has been. And like maybe there could be like documentation in a book about like something that they can be like, oh, the artifact was used here because it says this thing, because it says like there was random magical energy in this space or something like that. Yeah. It's like maybe if we figure out what the artifact is and does, we can start to just drop like hints.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, indeed.
A plastic bag just flew past the window.
Did it really?
Yeah.
What kind of plastic bag?
Just a plastic bag.
And, also when they're talking to NPCs and they get a high roll, you can talk through your process and be like, okay, well, they're an NPC here, that maybe they're not very educated. They work in this area. You can tell with your high roll, reward them. You can tell with your high roll, this PC is telling you the truth.
Yeah.
You can tell that, the area that they're in, they don't know much about it.
They probably won't know much about the artifact.
And if they knew, they probably would have told you.
Yeah.
But they don't. Reward them like that.
When we find this librarian, if we wanted to give something from this librarian, like maybe there's something to signify somebody who's part of this group. Maybe they wear a ring of a certain color on their pinky finger or something like that. Really, like, so when they find somebody and they see that ring and they can like sort of begin to be like, about the artifact or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It depends how you want to swing it. I would definitely give them something so they stop asking so much. But at the same time, like Margaret said, maybe explain why they probably wouldn't know something in certain situations.
Explain why. Yeah, exactly.
But, maybe letting them know that talking about the artifact openly isn't a
very
great
much
idea.
So. Agreed. I think do both.
Yeah,
I think do both.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, I hope that helps, cats. Yeah, super simple. Swimply simply. Shall we do the last one? Because you know what? There's been a lot of stops in this episode.
Yes, there has, yeah.
That noise was so weird. I'm telling you.
It was, I think
it
was next door shutting the door.
I think it was. But I felt the vibration of the sound. It was so loud.
Hit us with the next.
All right. So, this is the ultimate. Get your clogs on.
Clogs on.
Clogs on. Clogs on. Clogs on.
Clogs on.
All right. This one has been sent in by TJ and he uses he, him pronouns.
Thank you, TJ.
Thank you, TJ. This one is short and swimple. How do I balance my combats if all of my enemies keep rolling like garbage every time we're in combat? It happens almost every time combat is initiated. My rolls are absolute dog for the enemies and they get railed. Someone advised me to fudge rolls, but that feels gross to me.
Okay. Area of effect abilities. Take the dice out of your hands. Have attacks that are going to hit, even if, let's just say it's a fireball. The players succeed. Okay, they still take half damage.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? To have like little breath attacks. Maybe it's a giant frog that like, it's not so much about them hitting. It's like being in their space. They take, things that have like auras. let's just say the frog moves into the space and it smells really bad, so everybody takes 3 points of
Yeah,
poison damage
sticky
at the
frog,
top of the
sticky
turn.
frog.
It's like passive damage like that can help when you don't roll really well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Taking the rolls out of your hands and putting it in your player's hands.
Yes,
Everyone needs to make
absolutely.
a Constitution
A save.
saving throw against this corn attack.
Yep.
Like just being in the aura, you take a little bit of damage. It puts the stakes on and people take damage.
Yep.
From those things. Put different things in. Put some rough terrain in. Put some high ground, low ground in. Put just some like environmental challenges. So even if you don't roll super well, it's still tough.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is probably a really good way to like make combats challenging without it depending on your rolls. Look, now and then you might just need something to hit, and you don't have to do it all the time. Yeah, I understand fudge and roll stinks, but if your enemies we're about to have the last enemy die and you haven't landed a single attack.
Yeah. Because that's also not fun for the players.
That's not fun for the players either.
Sometimes railroading a combat is very fun. Sometimes fucking steamrolling a combat is fun for the players.
Every combat?
Say, not every combat. Certainly not. You know, it's also, in terms of the fudging rolls thing, I would genuinely, TJ, I would think about why it feels gross to you.
Yeah.
Is it because you feel like you're being unfair? Is it because they don't have the chance to fudge their rolls either? You know, the DM screen is there for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, quite simply put, the DM screen is there for a reason. And now, no, absolutely do not fudge your rolls. Even the majority of time, even the minority of the time.
Yeah.
Fudge your rolls every now and then if you know something has to hit. If, again, they've steamrolled a combat and you've done nothing.
You're 3 rounds in and you haven't hit.
Yeah.
Your players probably want a bit of a challenge now.
Certainly, yes.
But I definitely think, taking out of your hands and putting saves on your players is a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Having environmental damage and environmental like challenges is also a good way to do it. Having auras of damage is a good way to do it. Find a way to give yourself advantage. I don't know, maybe there's an ice giant and around it the surface is slippy. So when the paladin runs in, they fall prone. So on your turn, you have advantage.
Yeah, totally.
You might hit.
Yeah, take advantage of difficult terrain.
Yeah.
Make it hard for people to get to your enemies.
Conditions. Maybe, like they give out poison, so your players have disadvantage when they hit.
Yeah. It could be they walk into like a fog and they have to make a Constitution saving throw or they're poisoned.
Yeah.
For D4 amount of rounds.
Yeah, like have things that give you advantage if something succeeds or somebody fails to give yourself an advantage to hit.
I think a good thing that you could pair with this as well, going on the kind of the save route is we use something called an advantage disadvantage token. It is in lieu of inspiration. You could use both of them if you wanted to, but we use it instead of inspiration. And what it is each player gets a token. It has an advantage on one side, a disadvantage on the other side. They can choose to use their advantage whenever they want, but then they flip the coin and their disadvantage is up. When their disadvantage is up, the DM can call at any point for them to use their disadvantage. If you need them to fail a save, ask them to use their disadvantage.
They'll probably fail the save.
If they're rolling like shit and you give them a pity disadvantage so they can turn their advantage up and use it, because once you use the disadvantage, it goes back to the advantage. If you are on a disadvantage and you roll a natural 1, it comes back onto advantage.
Yeah.
It has been such a dynamic changer for us.
Yeah.
We love it. And that's something you could pair with it as well that will feel great for you. Great for your players.
Yeah, so definitely, like, if you need them to fail something like a poison check so they have disadvantage, or something like you need them to fail something so they fall prone, those that could maybe help. But I would definitely consider, area of effect spells, using the terrain, finding a way to give yourself some advantage, like buy through an ability or something like that. Like I had a Executioner in the last session. He would do a headbutt attack and then a great axe attack. If he headbutted you and you failed a Constitution saving throw, you fall prone. Then he got advantage on the second attack and everyone was really scared of the attack. But it made sure that I hit with that great axe attack because that was the damage deal.
Yeah, and also TJ, you have to think as well. Your players, I can't speak for them, probably wants a challenge, right? They probably don't want to run every combat because when they're steamrolling every combat, it kind of feels like, what's the point? At least I can only speak for myself here. Think about the concept of why you think it's gross to fudge rolls.
Yeah.
Is it because you've heard rhetoric online from people being like, the dice are the gods and the dice decide everything and, we play a dice-based game? And if that's what you believe in, TJ, that is very valid and very fair.
Yeah.
But also think about, does that work for you as a DM?
Because
you
currently, it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, you have to
the
do
thing.
what works for you as a DM.
Yeah, but also it needs to be what works best for the table.
Certainly.
And, maybe you're not fudging, but it's just, like, maybe the pluses are slightly bigger than it was because I haven't hit a single thing.
Exactly.
Like, if you absolutely don't want to, use all those other things, but maybe now and then it's an attack just hits.
And you have to have fun as well.
You have to have fun.
You have to have fun as well.
You have to have fun.
So
And
how
also-
helps? There's a lot of suggestions.
Also, your look's probably going to change at some point.
Yeah,
I promise.
God, yeah, definitely.
Get a new
yes,
set of
yes,
dice,
definitely.
Roll on
Sage 'em.
something different.
Yeah.
Your look will change
It
eventually,
will.
I promise.
Yeah, I promise.
I promise, yeah.
These things swings and roundabouts.
But
you know?
you've got a million tools at your disposal to make sure that you maybe have advantage or they have disadvantage.
Indeed.
And there's other ways to get out passive damage.
Yeah,
So
indeed.
use those tools.
Indeed. So, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Are you? Oh, you never sat down. God.
No, now you
oh my
can
God,
sit
you
down.
never sat down.
Now you can sit down.
Now you can bum scoot out of here.
Like
Yeah.
a dog.
Yeah, you put clogs on your hands,
Yeah.
and you bum scoot with your hands. How about that?
Thank you very much for making it to the end. If you are here, go and pick up some www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk.
Yep.
For some merch,
yeah,
hoodies, and t-shirts, and all good things. Code Podblast will get you 10% off our Etsy shop, where there are spell cards, notebooks, mugs, and t-shirts, and all other sorts of great goodies there.
Yes.
For the people that you love who love Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh my God. Is that me?
Vote for us in the Crit Awards.
Oh God, yeah,
if you would like to.
Goodness gracious
we would
me,
appreciate it. The link will be down below.
Forgot.
Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. We love you very much.
Join us on stream.
Join us on stream Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. I love you.
I love you.
Bully loves you.
Yeah.
He ran away.
He's gone.
We've been the Eldritch Podblast, and we're going to see you on Thursday. Bye.
Bye.